Don't throw mysis shrimp directly into your tank. Now, Hikari does a pretty good job of removing phosphates and nitrates, but in reality, there's still stuff in there, and you'll see that in just a second. Instead, we're gonna make it into a small little cocktail soup with some other stuff here that has really helped bring a lot of color to my corals and the fish in general, and even my mandarins love it. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of the logic behind it. I do this maybe once a week. I alternate all my different foods. This soup is one of the things that I feed within the week, so I wanna show you how it works. Now, what you'll need is, well, what I use the Hikari mysis shrimp. I use the rotifers, cyclopods, and I also use coral food. Now in the past I was using reefroids and Benepets, but I've had really good luck with Willows Reef Coral Feast. So I got this little sample here, we're gonna use some of that. Now, I'm not dosing based on the instructions because I still individually feed my coral. But for additional food for some of my smaller, pickier fish like my mandarins, I've seen my mandarins go after this. So on top of the pods and everything else they eat, this helps. Now you're also gonna need some RODI water, and you're gonna need a smaller container. This is a container the food's gonna be in, and I'm gonna go ahead and dump a good chunk of that RODI into here. This is gonna be what we wash the food or strain of food with, and then it goes in there. And you're also gonna need a tea strainer. So this, I wouldn't bother straining it because it's all gonna go through. So I actually do 2 of each on about 3/4 cups of RODI. And I'll explain why RODI over anything else. So 2 cyclopods and 2 rotifers. Now, I make enough to last me for about 2 to 3 days, and I have 4 saltwater tanks. I can't remember how many I have. So for that, I'm actually gonna do 9 mysis shrimp blocks. So here's what happens. We're gonna go ahead and take this, and we're gonna take 3 cubes, and I'm gonna put them in this little tea strainer. All right, so we got 1, we got 2, 3. I'm just gonna kind of shake it around. So I'll explain to you why I like this method, right? So once this thaws out, you're gonna see this water get nastier and nastier. And I don't know what all that is. I mean, obviously it's preservatives and maybe some of the juices from the mysis shrimp or whatnot. But I'm not worried about all that. I want that out of there. I want this to be as phosphate and nitrate free as possible. And I'm aware that there's probably some inside the rotifers and the pods, but I'm not too worried about that. What I really want is, I want that over a 24-hour period, that mysis shrimp is gonna soak the RODI. Now, I'm going to give pretty much a lot of credit of this idea to my friend Wayne. Reefer Vets is on Instagram. I'll put a link to his stuff down below. But what Wayne had said is, well, you know, when you think about it, and I guess he also heard this from the Hikari guys, but if, let's say, you're giving a freshwater dip to a fish, right? You know, you'll see things like the flukes and some parasites just come clean off because they don't live in freshwater. Well, by dipping your mysis in the RODI, your freshwater, as it courses its way through the stomach, you would have to think, well, if there's any kind of parasite that shouldn't be in their stomach, as they swallow that fresh water, it's gonna flush them out. Now, how true that is, I don't know, but it sure makes a lot of sense to me, and it's better than flushing it with salt water anyways, and definitely not tap water. So let's see here, oh, a little bit, almost. You don't have to do it for too long. I mean, you can see them literally, what, not even 30, 45 seconds and it's ready to go. There it is. That is all the crap that would have gone into your tank with 9 cubes worth. Disgusting. So now, a couple other things that we're gonna add. Again, I add a scoopful of the Coral Feast. This food is fantastic. This is a little sample. If you're interested in a sample, shoot me a DM because I might give away some samples that I've got. And the rest, here we go, let's put it in. All right, so that goes in there. Okay. And last but not least, we're gonna add a capful of Seachem Vitality. Now we're gonna just stir it up. And I use one of these little long neck feeders so I can feed it into the tank. A couple little squirts and it's perfect. Look at that. It almost looks like the concoction from the Porky's throw up scene. And about 90% of you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's gonna be good for about 3 days, I would say. I wouldn't do it more than that. So this is really good if you have, for example, you're gonna, just want to quick feed them, or if you got somebody that's gonna house it for you while you go on vacation, you just give them the feeder and say, here, give a couple of squirts of this, and you're good to go. So any questions, comments, etc., leave them down below. I will put links to everything down in the description. Thanks for watching.